smiles on Friday morning.
Stars shining bright above.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda and today we're going to be making shrimp bisque my way. Today we already have on the stove 6 cups of water with the shells of deveined shrimp and the top of the leeks that I've already pre-cut earlier. We're going to add to that, for creating that shrimpy broth, 3 cubes of vegetable Maggi seasoning. And the reason we're doing that is because I was actually looking for fish broth and I wasn't able to find it in the supermarket, so I'm substituting with that vegetable broth.
Okay, and at this point we're just going to go ahead and take the shell off of the shrimp. We're going to use that to make our stock. That's going to be our base. We're adding the shells to some hot water and the tips of the leek, which is the darkest green portion of the leek itself. And today we're using some leeks. We're going to be using flour, some tomato paste, vegetable bouillon, garlic, Old Bay seasoning, Cajun seasoning mixed together, some black pepper, olive oil, butter, dry sherry, and some cognac.
So I mixed the Maggi seasoning in here. I did 1 cube for every 2 cups of water. And those green things in there are the leek with the shrimp. This is going to be our base broth for our shrimp bisque. The next thing we're going to do is we've already put aside 6 garlic cloves. We're just going to simply dice those, and this is going to be combined with the leeks as we saute it together in a few minutes. Get out of here. Go see.
Oh my god. So extra.
I didn't even push you.
He's such a faker. What are we doing right now?
Making a bottle for the baby so we can continue filming and taking a drink to even keel.
And the drink is the most important part.
It gets all of this cooking. So the broth is all done. The shells are nice and pink. The leeks are pretty much dissolved. And then don't forget we have the bouillon in there for seasoning, so it's really nice and tasty. That's my broth. Okay, so now we're going to add our 5 tablespoons of olive oil. I initially chopped 6 garlic cloves. I'm gonna just shake in about 4. This video thing is very stressful.
Very stressful.
Getting her down.
And we're drinking it
And I
up.
just wanted to get a little golden. I like myself.
A little brown.
A little brown. So what I did with the leeks is I cut them. I left the dark piece off. I just did the lighter pieces. I diced them and I'm gonna just pour it in here. Make sure when you're using leeks that you wash it really well because there's a lot of sand in between the layers of the leek. It's kind of like an onion. Maybe more like a green onion. But it's very flavorful. It's very delicious. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of black pepper. And a 1/2 tablespoon of a mixture of Old Bay seasoning and cayenne pepper. Just let it cook down, take its time. I have it in about medium heat. I'm not gonna go any higher than that because I don't want it to burn. I just wanted it to take its time and sweat. Okay, so we're gonna be also adding some cognac and some dry sherry. This dry sherry is really gonna start giving you that smell of, oh, there's something good cooking with some shrimp in here. Right now, since the leeks are halfway done cooking, we're gonna go ahead and add our shrimp. So I'm using 2 pounds of shrimp. Just gonna throw it in here. As you see, the shrimp's already starting to get that nice kind of pinky color. We don't want to overcook it though, but we do want all the goodness to get out of there. While this is happening, we're gonna go ahead and add the cognac. And put a 1/3 cup of cognac. And a 1/3 cup of the dry sherry. And we mix. Oh my god. That is just divine. This process is going to continue cooking. So if you undercook some shrimp, don't worry, it's not going to be the end of the world, because you're going to just put it into another pot and it's going to continue cooking. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the stove off. I'm going to empty everything from here into the food processor, and we'll take it for a spin. I'm going to do a coarse process. Even though it's lobster bisque, I still want it to be a little bit chunky. And that's what it looks like. We're just gonna let that sit right there because we're not ready for it yet. What we are gonna do, however, is we're gonna move back to our pan where we cooked the leeks and the shrimp and everything. We're gonna put the stove back on to medium. We're gonna get our unsalted stick of butter. And we're gonna put in 4 tablespoons, which is about 1/2 stick of butter. Actually, no. I'm gonna start with 4 tablespoons of butter, and then we might end up with 8 tablespoons of butter. Because my original recipe actually called for 1 pound of shrimp, but I decided to use 2 pounds today. And you see, when the butter starts melting in here, it's going to start pulling up all that goodness that got stuck at the bottom of this pan from the shrimp and from the leeks and everything. So that's when you want to reuse the pan. It's going to get all that goodness off the bottom. And you see how quickly the butter melts. And as the butter melts, if you leave it long enough to get a slight brown, it'll get a toasty, nutty kind of a smell to it too, which just adds a little extra flavor. Oh, that's so delicious. So now we're gonna add our flour, and we're gonna make, this is a 1/2 cup of flour that we're gonna add to the butter. We're gonna make like a white sauce. That's what it looks like. And now we're gonna add our 1/2 and 1/2 to the mix. That makes a nice little white sauce base. And that's just lovely. So just look at that. And I reduced the heat because we're cooking the milk in here. We don't want it to curdle and start sticking to the sides of the pot.
Here you go.
Okay, so now that is all mixed together in here. I'm putting my heat back up to medium heat. And then I'm gonna pour in my broth. So I put in about 8 cups of broth. Oh, sorry, 8 cups of water with the shells of the 2 pounds of shrimp. Added 3 cubes of vegetable bouillons. And by the time I was done, that only yielded 5.5 cups of broth. So just keep that in mind, okay? So even though I put the 8 cups in the recipe, it's not gonna yield 8 cups. Okay, now I'm gonna put our pureed shrimp and leeks with the garlic that we sauteed and cooked earlier in here. And we're gonna have a little party in the pan. And fold it in. And when I say fold it in, I literally mean just fold it in. Take your time, be really gentle. Kind of looks thin. I'll probably just have to let it cook down. Now we're gonna add to it our tomato paste.
So So at this point, we're just gonna reduce the heat and continue to fold in the tomato paste. You may have to press the tomato paste against the pot to get it to kind of break down a little bit. But soon after, you get this beautiful color. And voila, that is what we call shrimp bisque, people. Served with some garlic bread, and it is delicious. If you like my recipe, please subscribe and like this video.